With your station up and running, it's time to turn our attention to how people will be able to listen to your station. And the primary way they'll do that is through the built-in web player, which can be embedded onto your website, or you can use the single page microsite provided as part of your package. So let's take a look at how we can customize the web player and how people can access it. Everything we need to customize our web player can be found within the broadcast.radio portal. So head on over to broadcast.radio and click on Login. Here's the familiar dashboard, which we've seen before. And to manage your web player, you click on the Manage Web Player button. But before we can do that, we're just going to fill in a few basic details about our station by going Settings and Station. So in here, you can change your station name, you can change the short version of station name, add in a tagline, put in a description, and you can also set a logo. Okay, so now I've set my station logo, my station icon logo, a little bit of text information about the station. You can also change the default colors in here if you wish. When you're happy, hit save. Next, we're going to go to the social section. And in here, we can put in your Facebook page, your Twitter username, your Instagram username, and a contact email address. Again, hit save. Now we're ready to set up our player. Go back to the dashboard and click on Manage Web Player. You can see this checklist tells you anything you've missed out on your setup, so we haven't added any presenters or any scheduling yet, but we'll cover that later. And we haven't put in any social media accounts, but that's okay. We just want to click on the Player button. Here you can see a preview of the player on the right hand side and the options for setting the player on the left hand side. So going through these very briefly, you can change the logo that's displayed at the top of the player and also the background that is displayed by default. You can also choose the style of your player. So you have 4 options. You can have tabbed, you can have full page where you scroll down and it displays things like the currently playing item and the recently played songs and things like that. You can have it in player only, it only shows you the player, doesn't show you the schedule or anything else. And you can have the expanding player, which when you click on it will expand to be a full size pop out. I'm going to stick with a tabbed one for this demo, but of course experiment to see what you like. Next, you can use a custom color scheme. So if you don't tick this option, it will use the colors we set in the station section. But let's say we want to change this to be a bit more in line with the Kelfield radio logo, so I'm just going to set the text color to be a kind of orange color. There we go. Background can stay as black and highlight is okay. And I'm going to do the same thing on the menu. If you were taking the care of this, you'd obviously use the same color exactly on each one, but it doesn't matter on this. You can choose whether to show the album art, the now playing information, recently played songs. Choose whether to have a contact button, in which case they'll be able to email you. And if you've entered in a Mixcloud or a Podbean account, you can actually show that information on there. And you can choose whether you want to show the show schedule and how you want to display that. We'll move on to the schedules in a second. Finally, you can choose the shape that fits your player. So let's say we wanted a large square or a portrait. If we're on player only mode, we can also go for a mini player like this or a fluid player where it'll just stretch to meet the needs. Now, I'm going to just stick with the generic portrait with tabbed, which is the sort of default player setting. So the final thing you need to do is just click on save, and that will then save all the settings for your player. Now, if you are accessing the player through the one-page microsite, then that's fine. You don't have to do anything else. But if you want to embed this player on a third-party website, you can click into the embed code here, paste that onto your website, and your player will be displayed on your website. But you can also do it via a link, either a pop-up link, a new tab, or just a URL that can be attached to any graphic on your website. If you have the optional website add-on for broadcast.radio, then this player, when you hit say, this player is the player that they will see when they click on the play button automatically. Okay, let's have a quick look at presenters and shows so we can set up a schedule to be displayed. Go to Content, go to Presenters, create a new presenter, pick an image for your presenter, give it a title, and a little bit of explanation. Then click Publish. So that's the first presenter in your system. Next, I'm going to go to the Show section. Create a new show. Call this one the R2D2 show. Give it a description and assign a presenter. You can also put an image onto there as well. And again, just hit Publish. And that's the show in there. I'm just going to add one more show. Hit Publish. Okay, so now we've created a presenter and a couple of shows. Let's assign them to hours of the week by clicking on Assignments. And here we have the default grid. So if I click on down this little arrow down and select Edit, here we have the default schedule for the week. Now this is different to the schedule we looked at earlier in Myriad anyway. This is the schedule as displayed on your web player. So this is the public facing pictures of presenters and biog and stuff like that. So let's get started and just put some shows in here. So I'm just going to drag down from Monday 9 till 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just going to say, right, that's the Kelfield show, and I want to repeat that through the entire week. And then from 10 through till 9 o'clock at night, I'm going to make that one the R2D2 show. And then finally, I'm just going to fill up the last 3 hours of each day with Radio Kelfield again. Hit save. And now if we go to our player, go to the dashboard and you see the preview of the player. Now if we click on the schedule tab, we can see we've got for each day the schedule, the shows that we've just put in. So obviously you put in all the different shows for your presenters. Now we've seen how to embed it on a web player, but what about if you want to use the single page website that comes with the package? Then to do that, all you need to do is click on Visit Website, and this will open up the player for you. So you can see it's in here. I haven't really set the colors too well here, but you can put that in there. You press the play button and you can access your stream from there. So you can, this is the description we put in Station, obviously your Station logo and things like that. Now, if you want a more in-depth web page, then of course you can always add the website add-on to get a full radio website as part of your package. But you can then use this URL to allow people to access, or you can actually even go directly to the stream. So if you go into Manage Streams, and in here, if you click on this little cog here, if you need to give the direct stream to anyone, you can either give them this one, which is the kind of simple stream address, or if you need to put it in very specifically, some places will not allow redirections, in which case you can always use this direct stream. So that's how you would set up your player, and you're now ready to broadcast and allow people to hear the station. The next thing we're going to look at, I think, is how to do some final contributions, some voice tracking, editing the logs, and then your station is largely up and running. So see you next time.